Yesterday, elections, big old wins for progressives. You know who won? Do you know who won? Cori Bush won. Not
Mm.
me, us, but also her. Us, yes, but also her, because Cori Bush, who Jenks says was the first Justice Democrat. Like, she ran in 2018, lost by about 20 points, continued to be active in the community and in politics between 2018 and now. And that principle that we've been talking about, that the first run's important, but the second run might be the moneymaker,
Hmm.
when people already know who you are and you're building connections with the community. How'd you like a little demonstration of that principle? And Cori Bush is an amazing demonstration of that. Winning in her second go. Very exciting. As people were watching the returns come in, Clay had apparently had a big lead. Lacy Clay, I should say, the longtime incumbent. I'm assuming at this point that you're fairly familiar with the electoral situation, but he had a big win, a big lead among mail-in and absentee ballots. But she came back big on election day. Lots of great turnout, and eventually a 3-point win, a 23-point swing in 2 years. That's what experience and all of that and activism and building your base and your field operation, all of that can give you. And so it is incredibly likely, considering the district, that she will be heading into Congress in not too many more months.
Yes. Hey. So I mean, like you said, it's a testament of persistence and continue to push your point. And honestly, the where this country needs to go. So if people need to hear it enough. We've heard countless times throughout our life the normal things that we hear from politicians from either side of the aisle, and we don't hear these types of moves and agendas and things that actually help American people. And if you just say it one time, enough, some people may hear it, but then how much time have we really had to let these new ideas, which really shouldn't be new, actually penetrate our membranes and go, what if it did look like that? Wait, what if you could get enough of a coalition of people that would take the country in this direction? You know, when it started with a little bit of other things with Justice Democrats and other progressive candidates that have gotten in office, and it's only like 4, 6, or 10 of them at the different points. But
Yeah.
then as it builds, you can be like, oh, wait a second, this is actually a thing. It's not something that it's a political cycle type of thing that's going to happen. And I've said it before that the re-election, the re-election of many people like AOC and Rashida Tlaib and everyone is like the confirmation for seeing them in office, and then go ahead and confirming it that we need this types of
Yeah.
energy and these types of ideas.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's exciting to see another another candidate go down that, all the people in the know were saying couldn't possibly. And what's interesting about this race is that, people definitely didn't think that she would win outside of, progressives. Didn't think that there was much of a chance. But this isn't one of those elections like with Crowley and with Engel, against AOC and against Bowman, where they were so overconfident that they didn't even really run a race. I mean, it wasn't as true with Engel. It wasn't at all true in this case. Like Clay ran to try to defeat her again. He'd already ran once before, and she still won. This wasn't a sneaking in the shadows, knife in the back. No, she faced him face to face and took him down with superior organizing, a superior platform, all of that. And that's one of the things that makes it so exciting. Now, she did receive benefits from or I should say a boost from some awesome organizations, including the Justice Democrats, who spent roughly $200,000. You have the Sunrise Movement helping to organize around her as they have around other candidates, as well as Matriarch, a new organization that backs working class women running for office. We had Nimiki Konst on not too many months ago to talk about that organization. And so that's great. And it allows us one additional time now to bring up this tweet that I will never get tired of. Back in July 12th, 2019, there was a senior Democratic source who very boldly went anonymously off the record to say, no one is afraid of those nerds about the Justice Democrats. They don't have the ability to primary anyone. And AOC tweeted that out today with a little nerd face, which is awesome. However,
Yeah, it sucks to have your tweets come back at you like this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. However on this though is that while I know that people watching this, people who watch a lot, think John doesn't physically have it in him to criticize AOC. And I get why you would think that. She didn't endorse Cori Bush, which I would have preferred. And she should have. She should have. I get why she didn't, I guess, strategically. She endorsed Bowman after Engel went on record saying that primaries are inconveniences, that only a pandemic is forcing him to actually campaign a little bit. No, she should have in this case too. Doesn't mean that she's terrible, doesn't mean she's a sellout, doesn't mean she's been devoured by the machine. But I would like to see a change up in endorsement strategy in the next round.
Yeah, and maybe it's just my thing with endorsements in general. I don't pay enough attention to them to believe that they'll change things. So that's a personal thing. If I have a thought or I have an approach for a certain candidate, and then there's some other candidate endorses the opponent, it doesn't make me automatically drop all the thoughts and beliefs that I had in support of this particular candidate. So an endorsement to me is almost like a, hey, I'm on board, not a, hey, I'm giving you life. Because it doesn't, in my opinion, it wouldn't give life to a candidate that I wasn't in support of. I don't know. It's just, I'm not as easily swayed, maybe because I'm a contrarian at times. So when the popular person says, hey, you guys should do this, it makes me go, well, maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah.
No.
That's true. That's true. So, maybe we'll see a change. But congratulations to Cori Bush. There were other wins, including Missouri approved Medicaid expansion, which is going to expand it to about 200,000 more low-income individuals. An awesome loss with Chris Kobach losing his Kansas Senate primary. Man, what a loser Chris Kobach is. Can't win elections. Can't find voter fraud. What a loser.
Brad going back to Kansas to see if he could reclaim, something with his name.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not working out.
No.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.